Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening, depending on where you are on this fast forward planet, which we're slowing down a little bit this morning in the usual Sunday Sanity hour or two of my Sustain What of Columbia and the Earth Institute. Some amazing guests lined up. Some of them are regulars like Claudia Gibson. Some are new like Joachim Cooder, who is a fantastic innovator, a sonic innovator, and a deep diver into traditional music in search of new sounds and approaches. Alex Grassi, one of my favorite guitar players, acoustic guitar master, who has endless strings in his instruments and creates endless sounds. Others are coming on as well. I just want to start, though, because it is also, as Father's Day, happy Father's Day to all of you. We all had a father, unless you were embryonically created in a lab. So there is a possibility, but even then you did have a father. And but if it's Father's Day, that means it's also the annual Clearwater Festival, the Hudson River Sloop Clearwater. And I hope you can support them in their journey. The festival normally is down by the river. And of course, for the second year in a row, it's virtual. I'm going to play a little bit of a glimpse at one a number of years back. It was the 40th anniversary of the sloop. And I took this video. So here's a little taste of the Clearwater Festival from a while back. My old boat, I'm going to sail if she blows. I got that deep. You know I'm going back, muscle shows, stabs up in a there I'm told. I got that deep river blues. These were on your head, so you got another 40 years. Yeah! Yeah! 120 is a good age! Miss that guy. And I miss her. Toshi Seeger.
It's small organizations like this that are going to save the world.
I love that. The tiller on that vessel is so amazing. So that's just felt like a good way to start off this morning. I'll be down at Croton Point Park later today with a friend from the Clearwater universe and with our families enjoying this. Actually sitting by what used to be a landfill in Croton is now a beautiful park. And so good morning to Claudia Gibson, who's come back on the show with from Wimberley, Texas, down in a very hot part of the country. I think it's pretty hot there right now. In fact,
yeah.
Are you in the hot zone?
It's hot enough. It's not like 100.
Hot enough.
Yeah, it's in the 90s. It's not. I mean, that just seeing the Hudson River because I grew up and spent most of my life until about 14 years ago in the Hudson Valley. So and used to go my stepdad's boat off Croton and go swimming, and my kids we used to go at Cold Springs. So yeah, it's like. It's nice, but in all those years, I don't know why I never made it to the Clearwater Festival. I have no idea why.
Well, it's like I grew up in Rhode Island and I never went to the Newport Folk Festival.
I know, and it was right there. I mean, I went on the Clearwater once to like a sail, but that was when we were living in Manhattan, and we got to raise the sail and the whole thing. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I had friends my friend Julie Grower, who was on here. She was on it for a while. She was a deckhand, a crew member, I guess. So,
all right.
I don't know. So, well, happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
You're a good dad with a lovely son who I taught once many years ago.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I actually have an older one too, who's now 31, almost 31. He'll be 31 in August. I can't believe it.
I know.
And I'm going to sing a song a little bit later about fatherhood, I guess. But motherhood matters. You can't be a father without there being a mother in the picture.
This is true.
And so we always celebrate. I think these are all celebratory moments for parenthood, basically, and for couplehood.
Yeah, and I think once you're a parent, you understand. Like my biological father wasn't, I didn't win any prizes there, but I had a good stepdad. And I think once you have kids, and I got to see through my husband what a father really does. Especially for a daughter. I have two sons and a daughter, and then I was kind of like, oh, so that's what I missed. So fathers are really super, super important. So
Yeah,
I think you need both.
this is true. So what's on your musical mind right now?
Well, I was thinking of doing an older tune. I was out last night. Things are opening up again out here, and I went out and heard a fantastic singer-songwriter, a guy who's based in Austin, but he's Irish. His name is Pat Byrne, and you have to check him out sometime because he's just amazing. And it was an outdoor porch house concert, and it was just one of those Austin things that's super nice, and which is why I'm out here. It was kind of a reminder because everything's sort of opening up, and we're all like going out like, wow, like we're emerging from these spaceships or something, and it's just everyone's going, wow. So I'm going to play an old song called, and actually I haven't played it in a long time, so I got to stick the lyrics up here because you know how Slade Cleaves once said, the old songs they get ignored and then they come and they get their revenge. And then you go, ugh.
Yep.
Anyway, this is called Sweet and Sheltered Sleep. Love's an endless journey that we navigate by heart. Sometimes our senses fail us. Then we go by faith that we won't fall or drown or slip apart. We hoist our tattered sails up. I would circle around this earth and wrestle with demons of the deep, just to lay down at your side in love's sweet and sheltered sleep. In love's sweet and sheltered sleep. Life can be a distance race that we are running, deaf and blind without much sense or reason. Feeling out the ruts and holes and trying not to lag behind. Push on with the season. I would crawl down that endless road, bare scraped hands and bloodied knees, just to lay down at your side in love's sweet and sheltered sleep. In love's sweet and sheltered sleep.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Oldies but goodies are good.
Yeah, I wrote that one when I was still living in New York. and I was kind of, I think, I might have been, I don't know, I think it was after I was in the, the Hudson Valley Musicians Alliance. It kind of petered out after a while. I was in the songwriting group you were in too, which is where I met you.
Yeah, and, I know. Those were good sessions.
It was, and I remember writing that and doing a little, recording a little 4-song demo thing with Eric Gamble down in Brooklyn, and that was one I wrote for that. So, yeah, but I still like it. I don't play too many old songs because most of them,
they don't
I don't feel like they're very good.
Well,
pardon me.
They don't hold up to your present self scrutiny, huh?
Yeah, I think I've gotten better as a songwriter, but that was one of the first ones that I said, oh, okay, this song is a keeper, and I have 2 from back then that I still play. So, yeah. So what have you been up to musically these days?
Not enough, well, we are starting to prepare to do some live shows. I think we're going to be rehearsing starting in a week or two, the Breakneck Ridge Review, and we're going to play at the Town Crier again.
Nice.
On July 10th in Beacon, there's going to be a little outdoor thing that Laurie Siegel is organizing. So yeah, a little bit of music. I haven't written a new song in a long time, so that's a frustration of mine. And it is mostly about practice, as you say. Just getting into the rhythm of setting aside some time for the writing of songs is crucial. But I'll pull out one here. That's the Father's Day kind of song. My grandfather, my father's father, came from Russia when he was about 12 on his own, alone. And the first language he learned in the United States was Italian, because he was living in a garret over an Italian family. And he kind of made his life, built his life one piece at a time. And my father kind of followed in that tradition, joined the family business that Barney had built, and on we went. So this song really tells the story of an interaction I had with him in his final year or so in a hospital, and he said something that just stuck with me forever. So let me just adjust the picture here a little bit. It's called Long Short Story. Hopefully you can hear me okay. My father's father came from across the sea at the dawn of the 20th century. He built everything he had with his own 2 hands. My father's father was a working man. Last time I saw him, he was fading in an old folks' home. Memories had come and gone. Memories were all he owned. He took my hand and smiled, said that he was satisfied. His life was tough, but all in all, he'd laughed more than he'd cried. He said, life is a long, short story. When you're young, it's a book without end. But as you turn the final page, it's like it just began. Life is a long, short story. My chapter's nearly through. But I peeked ahead, and wouldn't you know, the next one's about you. I love to watch my son slip into a dream. He's only 5, but tomorrow he'll be 15. In the blink of an eye, he'll be a dad and then a granddad too. The smile take a child's hand, the circle starts anew. To say life is a long, short story. When you're young, it's a book without end. But as you turn the final page, it's like it just began. Life is a long, short story. My chapter's nearly through. But I peeked ahead, and wouldn't you know, the next one's about you. He said, life is a long, short story. When you're young, it's a book without end. But as you turn the final page, it's like it just began. He said, life is a long, short story, 5 chapters nearly through. But I peeked ahead, and wouldn't you know, the next one's about you. Well, there you go. And here's David Ross.
Hey.
He's the granddad among us.
This is true.
Although my older son just announced he's engaged, so and they have plans for kids. So I guess I'll be following suit at some point.
Yeah, mine too is engaged. In fact, he's getting married in the fall. My oldest son, who I think is the same age. He's 31, so he'll be 32.
Yeah, amazing.
So I know it is kind of amazing. But
David Ross, how are you?
I'm well. Can you hear me okay? Sound
Yeah.
okay? No, good.
Yeah.
No, things are good. Although both of my daughters and all of my grandchildren are in Los Angeles today, so I will not have a family-filled Father's Day.
You're a long-distance dad today.
Well, we have at least two California guests coming on shortly: Joachim Cooder and Alex de Grassi. So they'll be coming on from the left coast, and waking up with your gang out there, which is cool. So anyway, happy Father's Day to you, David, and happy Clearwater Day to you as well. I was mentioning earlier today is normally the Clearwater weekend.
Uh-huh.
And do you have a song in mind that?
Well, I was going to begin today with a Graham Parsons song, only because it's just been in my head all week. I think any Graham Parsons song, I guess, would pass for a Father's Day song. My daughters make a pilgrimage to the motel where he overdosed every year, I guess.
That's an interesting pilgrimage.
Yeah, there's a motel somewhere near Joshua Tree, apparently.
That's depressing.
Wow.
Yeah, well, we're all Graham Parsons fans, so what can I say?
Yeah, there you go. Great songs.
Is guitar coming through okay?
A little quiet. Yeah, that's better.
Won't you scratch my itch, sweet Annie Rich, and welcome me back to town? Come out on your porch, or I'll step into your parlor, and I'll show you how it all went down. Out with the truckers and the kickers and the cowboy angels, and a good saloon in every single town. Well, I remember something you once told me, and I'll be damned if it did not come true. 20,000 roads I went down, 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 and they all led me straight back home to you. 'Cause I headed west, grow up with the country, cross those prairies with those waves of grain, and I saw my devil, and I saw my deep blue sea, and I thought about a calico bonnet from Cheyenne to Tennessee. Well, we lit out across that river bridge last night at 2:30. Switchman waved his lantern goodbye and good day as we went rolling through. Billboards and truck stops flashed by the grievous angel, and now I know just what I have to do. and the man on the radio won't leave me alone. He wants to take my money for something I never been shown. And I saw my devil, and I saw my deep blue sea, and I thought about a calico bonnet from Cheyenne to Tennessee. The news I could bring, I met up with the king on his head an amphetamine crown. Talked about unbuckling that old Bible belt and let out for some desert town. Out with the truckers and the kickers and the cowboy angel, and a good saloon in every single town. Well, I remember something he once told me, and I'll be damned if it did not come true. 20,000 roads I went down, 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 and they all led me straight back home to you. 20,000 roads I went down, 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 and they all led me straight back home to you.
Sweet. What a nice rendition. And, you know, again, I hate not being able to harmonize.
Yeah,
those
pretty
last
soon
lines.
we've got some rehearsals set for our big return to the town crier on August 29th, Sunday. Mark it in your calendars. Maybe Claudia, you want to come east and be our guest artist for our first show. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice. I'm actually
we have to figure out sometime when you can do that.
Yeah, you will be back. Yeah, right.
Are there any times where you'll be back this fall or this winter?
There are this fall, but it's just going to be really tight because it's 4 days and my son's getting married, so that's
yeah. Focus on that stuff.
Flying in Friday is getting married Saturday. You know, it's kind of like one of those.
Right.
But it'll be great. Yeah, I was supposed to be in the Hudson Valley and in Massachusetts last summer and fall, but I was going to be doing some gigs, but that we know what happened with all that. So.
Right.
Yeah, well, at some point it'll work.
Yeah.
So, Claudia, do you have another tune to
I do have another tune. Yeah, I'll play one that I just recently finished. I finished it, and then it was like, oh no, it needs a little more. So I kind of took it back out and said, because it was bothering me that it wasn't quite finished yet. So unlike some people, I didn't write a lot. I wrote during COVID, but I just didn't like what I wrote. So.
And let me just tell folks who are watching right now, good time to share the link you're watching on with others. This is a great tune from Claudia. And momentarily, I do see Joachim Cooder is in our green room munching on bagels and sipping the great coffee. Of course,
I didn't get any of that in the green room. And
I'm
no
sorry.
M&Ms and no
He's in the
Evian.
West Coast green room.
It was all in my rider, and it's
all the green M&Ms taken out for you and everything, Claudia. We know how upset you get.
Well, so sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure people are sharing what they're watching here.
Anyway, this song is called Shine On.
Cool.
Are you guys muting or are you... Cast your old cares away at the end of the day and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we'll fly to the sun and shine on forever in light. Sometimes the world feels so heavy, the burden of years as we toil and we strive, when luck is not even or steady. Keep your hand tiller, and eyes on the prize. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light. Remember my lifetime companion, for better or worse, we have carved out a life. Now love can bridge rivers and canyons. Take my hand and together we'll cross this divide. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light. Wade in to cool waters, let them wash over you. And take leave of old sorrows, 'cause those hard times are through. Yeah, they're through. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light, and shine on forever in light.
What a beautiful song.
So great.
Such a treat to hear you on a Sunday morning.
Well, thank
And
you,
good
guys.
morning. The West Coast is starting to pop in here. Here's Joachim Cooder, who is, are you in the LA area or up north? Where are you on the planet?
I'm down in Altadena, which is the LA area.
Right, right. Way back in
LA. Sorry, go on.
That's okay. No. No,
Up
I
in the
like
hills, up in the
there.
hills there. It's beautiful up in Altadena.
Yes, I was going to
Eagle
say.
Rock, Altadena, near
Yeah.
past Pasadena. It's really nice.
That's right. We're up right up against the big mountains. So
That's really great. Well,
Yeah.
it's just such a pleasure to connect with you. I've really been enjoying your work, which is you have this fantastic interface of deep tradition. I mean, Uncle Dave Macon, and is it Uncle Dave?
yeah,
Yeah. Because it's so funny. My first band was Uncle Wade from Uncle Wade Ward.
all right.
Another banjo frailer from way back. And I have his album somewhere, but Dave Macon too. The fact that you're able to resurrect these songs, but not just to reinvent them essentially. And your new album is fantastic.
Thank you.
Your instrumentation is ingenious, and calling you a percussionist is kind of silly. So it's just great to have you here.
It started there.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, I gotta ask you though. Growing up with a dad like Ry Cooder, how did you find your place musically? How did that work?
Well, I always gravitated towards the drums when I was really little. He always played with Jim Keltner, who's an incredible drummer, obviously. And I was so enamored by him, and I really zeroed in on him. I think they rehearsed for one record in the early 80s in our house. And so Jim left his kit there. And so after they would finish and he would go home for the night, I would go downstairs and get on the drums. And it was, you know, he had, to me, his drum set was like this never ending. It was there was so much shiny chrome and little lights, and there was electronic drums, because, you know, he loved Simmons, so there was always like these drum pads and knobs, and I just got really I don't know, and guitar never made any sense to me. It still doesn't, and I wouldn't know what to, I mean, which I think is obviously a blessing, because that would be just depressing for everybody if I was trying to get in there. And then we could play together, my dad and I, from a really early age. I could accompany him, and that was a really great thing to be able to do.
That is a really great thing to be able to do.
Yeah,
I was just sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just talking about dads before and legacy. You know, it's to grow up in a musical household where it's like, yeah, this is possible, and here, and you know, that's a great gift. You know, and it's wonderful. Yeah.
I know, and I never thought about it too much growing up, but now that I'm a dad, I think, wow, how fun it was for him too, all these years. Because now I look at my kids and I think, oh my God, if I could take them on the road, and that would be, you know, and have them be in the band, that would be, that'd be insane. So I now see from his perspective also how much fun he probably had been having the whole time.
Yeah. And it's great. Like I have a picture from when my older son was about 2, and I'm sitting there playing guitar, and he's a toddler, and he's coming over to me and he's got his hands on the strings of the guitar, like, stop playing, Daddy, because it was like, if I'm playing the guitar, I'm not playing with him. And so it was always a tension point. So having a way to have the music pull you together is just really cool.
I have a really strong memory of watching him from the side of the stage when I was really little, and knowing at that moment when he goes out onto the stage and there's this big audience, I'm no longer, like, he's on this train that's just left the station, and I just couldn't do anything at that point. I couldn't run out there and get him and be like, wait. It was this very I don't know, when my wife and I try to do shows together, our kids just cry and scream. And then inevitably my wife has to get off the stage and go be with them. So maybe it's like the same thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So can you demonstrate a little bit of what you do? Just sort of talk a little bit, show us your instrument. If you have a 2 minutes to start off with, that'd be awesome too.
Well, it's this big electric mbira. Can you hear that all right?
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's like those little African thumb pianos, but it's this really heavy duty version of it that goes up in fifths and then goes down in octaves. So it's very modal, and you can very much go into a certain, you can feel very like Celtic right away, or African, and those are 2 musics that I have grown up loving and always kind of going after. So this thing helps me get there in a really nice way.
Been in business and I've been in love. Used to fly high like a turtle dove. Had the blues many a time. Just a woman on a poor man's mind. I got the moment blues. Oh, so bad. I said, honey, come and kiss me. It's the worst I ever had. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Find me a woman that a man can trust. A dime's worth of grease and a nickel worth of lard. I would buy more, but the times are so hard. I got the morning blues, oh so bad. I said, honey, come and kiss me. It's the worst I ever had. What's the use of me working so hard? I got a woman in the rich folks' yard. Well, she brings me meat and she brings me pie. Bring me some of everything the rich folks buy. I got the morning blue, oh so bad. I said, honey, come and kiss me. It's the worst I ever had. I said, honey, come and kiss me. It's the worst I ever had. I said, honey, come and kiss me. It's the worst I ever had.
I love that. I love the chords. I didn't realize you can kind of do chordish transitions.
It's chordish.
Yeah, you speak chordish.
It's heavily chordish.
Really awesome.
Amazing sound.
What is that instrument called? It looks like a kalimba on steroids.
That's essentially exactly what it is. He calls it, the guy who makes it, his name is Bill Wesley, and he calls it an Ry Cooder. And look at this nice little. You can see it. Ry Instruments is his company, and he's down here. He's in San Diego, I guess. And I had a big acoustic version. Looking around to see if I have it. I don't know where it is, but it was kind of like a prototype for over 20 years. And I would play it on film scores and on records, but you couldn't play it live because you just couldn't mic it. It would just feedback and always be a problem. And then the last 5 or so years or 6 years, I discovered he'd been making solid body electric versions, and it pretty much changed my life because then I could plug it into a guitar amp. And then I started writing and singing my own songs, which I had never done before. So it was very crucial,
It's
important
awesome.
thing.
I want one.
Really?
Yes, everybody should have one.
On this show now, I've had, hammer, dulcimer, auto harp through Tom Chapin, the nickel harpa, these amazing Swedish fiddles that have 50 hidden strings. Alex de Grassi with his scimitar. I know I'm forgetting. We think of guitar and banjo, stuff. But there's so much variation, and it isn't just adornment. Some of it really is very special. It leads to new songwriting, new creative output. It's kind of cool.
For sure.
That's really cool. Can you sing one of the Dave Macon ones? And how did that album come about too? Just tell me a little bit.
Okay. Well, first of all, that was an Uncle Dave song
from
Menu Record. Yeah, Morning Blues. That was the first one. That actually, I should have also done a double intro. But when I was really little, my dad would play a bunch of banjo around the house and sit in his chair and just kind of go from song to song, whatever came into his mind. And that one, Morning Blues, was one that I think it really spoke to me. And I don't think I knew at the time when I was 4 or 5, he probably didn't say, it's Uncle Dave Macon and let me explain. It just was a song that, he went through. And then within the last few years, I have a daughter and a son now. She's 6 and he's 3. And I took them to my parents' house, and he was playing the banjo, and I heard him start playing Morning Blues, and it kind of all came back, and I was in the other room, and I said, "What's that song?" And he said, "Morning Blues, Uncle Dave Macon." And there was something about it that I thought I got to try that on the Mbira, because it's, I don't know, there was something, maybe he was playing it kind of slowly, and I like to kind of slow everything down, and it was there was something, I went and got it and started playing along with him, and I thought, and I could see that my kids were right there watching him, and I said, I'm gonna learn this and start playing in my live show. And then this whole thing started with my daughter became obsessed with Uncle Dave Macon. It was like morning, noon, and night.
That's pretty funny.
I got this box set, you know, that label Bear Family, that German label that makes those huge box sets of country and Western. And so it was like 12 discs, and I started playing it around the house, and she only would want to listen to disc 5 and in a certain order. And it would have to be like during breakfast, it was this, it just became this whole thing. And after a while, I had learned all these songs, mostly from disc 5. And so I just started recording them. And then
that's really cool.
It started off only just because I was listening to it with her and enjoying it. And he's funny and makes jokes and laughs and does weird stuff. And she would kind of converse with him on like, as if he was there, as if like Uncle Dave was sitting at the table eating breakfast with us, and she would kind of respond to him. And it was just this wild thing.
That counts as a wild thing. How old was she at that time? Like when that album 5 phenomenon happened?
4.
Wow.
4. I mean, yeah.
Pay attention. That's pretty cool. Pay attention to your kids.
That's the ultimate thing. That's what I tell people more than anything is you have to just pay attention to them and listen to what they say, because so many song ideas I've come up with, it's been from her saying things that, you know, in a million years, I don't care who you are, you never would have come up with that. And I just am always listening. And so, yeah, she's I kind of say she's my like executive producer on that record.
Andy disappeared.
We lost Andy.
We're still going. Why don't you play another tune?
Okay. He's
sorry
back.
about that. I hit the wrong button on my screen and vanished into the ether. But I love that idea. Pay attention to what your kids say. There's something about the novelty of their experience that the world is new, and they're not captured by a narrative yet.
Yeah.
Very cool. So sorry, I disrupted things briefly.
No.
While you were gone, Andy, I assumed the role of host and asked Joachim to play another song.
Very cool.
I can do that. I can I'm going to do a little, let's see if this works. I'm going to show you my array man has also built this thing, and it's the same thing, but it's nails.
Very cool.
So you, instead of plucking it, where are we?
We see you.
You had this all on Twitter. You'd put up a video too of all this stuff.
Oh, this thing? The nails? Wait, what key am I in? Hold on a second. I'm going to do something in C. Oh, I was in C. that's not a perfect.
Oh, I'm liking it.
It's a little. It's cool, but you know what? For you guys, because we're just having a nice Sunday, I'm not gonna to settle for a nail loop that I'm not happy with.
That's fine. We're happy for a better nail loop.
I would for these special days we have together, Andrew. I'm not going to do a lackluster nail loop. Okay.
It's an entirely new concept and very tweetable. Nail loop. It should be a hashtag.
That's better. Okay, that's better. Oh, come on, you good time people. While I have money for to spend, tomorrow might be Monday. And I neither have a dollar nor no friend. When I had plenty of money, good people, I had friends for miles around. Yes, I did. But as soon as my pocketbook was empty, not a friend or dollar could be found. Last time I see my little woman, good people, she had a wine glass in her hand. She was drinking down her troubles with a low down, sorry man.
So go dig a hole in the meadow, good people. Go dig a hole right in the ground and come around and moan, good woman, and see this poor rounder go down. When I am dead and buried, and my pale face turns to the sun, you can come around and moan, little woman, and see just what you had done. Oh, come on, you good time people. While I have money for to spend, tomorrow might be Monday. And I neither have a dollar nor no friend. And I neither have a dollar nor no friend. Neither have a dollar nor no friend. And I neither have a dollar nor no friend. And I neither have a dollar nor no friend.
Oh my God.
Just picking things up that I have laying about.
That's so fantastic. The layering, the delay, the use of the loop and stuff is just really, really cool.
Great
too.
rhythms you got there. Really great rhythm you got going there.
Holy mackerel! And
are you touring on the? Will you be touring on the East Coast this year?
The closest I'm getting is Thompson, Georgia.
Thompson,
a little
Georgia.
town near Macon.
Cannot take the subway there. Can't take it.
Did I see? Are you touring in the UK this fall?
Yeah, in November.
Fantastic.
About
I'll let a lot of people know.
Yeah. I don't know what to expect. I'm a little nervous about some of these halls seem a little big for little old me.
They love American. They love American,
Yeah.
all kinds of folk and rock music. You know, it's crazy because I know some Texas singer-songwriters who, you know, do smaller shows here and then go over there, and it's like this giant hall filled with raving people who, you know, they appreciate it more than more than you know, Americans do. So.
And I wonder if is the Cropsey Festival going to go again this next year? I wonder. That's the one. I think Cropsey is the one that the Fairport Convention Gang puts on in England. It would be a great one for you because
I would like to do that.
I'll. I mean, not that I can just sort of reach out to Richard Thompson and say, "Hey," but that David Swarbrick and stuff. I think actually David Swarbrick. I think he might have passed away. At any rate, that festival is very much this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I love Fairport Convention.
God, what cool stuff! I'm so thrilled that there's a new iteration of the Cooder family sound. Someday people will be playing Uncle Joachim Cooder.
Yeah, hundreds of years from
building
now.
on what you're doing too. It's just really cool. I I see the Nestlers from the Catskills are in our studio too. They were just on the Hudson River Sloop Clearwater. Actually, next year, right this weekend, every Father's Day weekend is the Hudson River Sloop Clearwater Festival. The Great Clearwater Revival.
We should be out on the boat. We should be out on the boat like we are every year, huh?
I mean, you would be a perfect act for that too. So maybe a year from now, if Clearwater has its act together, we'll see. It's always kind of a work in progress. Gosh, golly. And I can't believe you can do this at 8 a.m.
I mean, I always think the stuff I do either in the morning, in here, in my studio, or in my living room is always so much better than when I play a live show. And I get, after setting everything, it's like such a hard, to get to the moment you're playing a live show, it's like the longest, hardest day. And I'm just always fried. But if I just wake up and come in here, you don't have to work. You just kind of can sit there and enjoy yourself. So I'm always like, then I think, oh, this is great. I'm going to do this thing I just did at the show. And then I get there and I'm like, nothing works. Everything's plugged in wrong and I'm all flustered. Not that that'll happen on my tour. It'll be very
good. Although, audiences, I think, are more forgiving than we think they are.
That's probably true.
Unless you're at one of those clubs that has a fence to avoid the bottles getting on the stage.
Ooh, yeah.
Let me bring a couple more people in here just briefly. Here's Alex Grassi from out west, Alex. Too, another early riser.
Hi, everybody.
Right. Hello.
And here are the Nestlers. There's Rick. I'm sure Donna's hanging around there. I thought you guys were going to go try to get on the boat today, but here you are. So, Alex, how have you been doing? Last time you were on this show, it was a really cold time of year. I think it was in the winter, and your studio was very cold, and you made beautiful music with that young gypsy guitarist, Sarah Labriola.
Yeah, she was great. Yeah.
Having the two of you together was great. Well, anyway, I wanted to introduce you to Joachim Cooder, and you've met a couple of most of the gang here.
Yeah, I think I have met. I don't know have I met you, Rick?
Maybe not Rick.
I don't think so.
And Joachim, I think I saw you once at a NAMM show with your dad.
Oh yeah,
like many years ago. You were I guess still a kid, so But I've heard great things about you, and
thank you.
Yeah,
I as well about you.
Yeah.
Wow, well, this is just great to have this quorum here this morning. Happy Father's Day again, not just to people who are fathers, because we all have fathers, and parenthood matters to everybody, either as a recipient of it or as a giver of it. So. Here's to fatherhood. Hey, Donna, how are you? And by the way, Joaquin, I see there's a washboard behind you. Donna has a washboard tie. It's a washboard. It's a tie. It's like an aluminum tie. That's a washboard tie.
I see. Literally,
it's literally a wearable washboardy thing. I don't know if she's grabbing it now.
We're gonna have to talk about that later on.
Yeah, you might have to get yourself a washboard tie.
Donna's getting her act together to get to the boat, so I'm solo this morning.
Okay.
All right.
It's so good to hear she can get back on the boat after her broken leg and everything. Hey, Donna.
Well, we're going to try.
All right. So, Rick, if you're hustling to the boat, maybe do you have a tune in mind? And thank you for what you contributed to Clearwater yesterday. I was tweeting that last night.
Oh, well, thanks a lot. I didn't get a chance to read most of the comments. I was busy monitoring everything else. It's been a busy week. So I did a couple of educational programs for Clearwater in the middle of the week. And then Friday night, I was out on the boat with Tom Chapin and Steve Stan and on Clearwater. And then yesterday was the whole revival thing for 12 hours. And in between, I had to do a sea shanty Zoom thing. So,
wow. All right.
But
you're relentlessly musical.
Yeah, at the moment. Yep, that's it.
And Joaquin, can you stay on for a bit longer? Or are you?
Absolutely. No, yeah.
Cool. Go for it, Rick.
This is a song that I didn't get a chance to do on the boat Friday night. So it's a Pat Humphreys tune. Pat used to, when I first met Pat, she was the relief cook on Clearwater. Out on the river, close of the day, the weather and the wind on our side, we are sailing away over the water, hands around. If we each give a little in time, we'll be Manitou bound. Hands to the tiller, steer quarter way. If we hurry, we can beat the dark and we'll dock in the light. Oh, muddy water, fish abound. Ain't it amazing all the life you can see if you just look around? If you are willing to go with the wind, together we'll take this boat and we'll sail her again. And over the water, our songs will resound. If we each give a little in time, we'll be Manitou bound. If we each give a little in time, we'll be Manitou bound. If we each give a little in time, we'll be Manitou bound.
Great tune.
Woo.
It's so
Yeah,
good
I've been a little bit reticent to use the 12-string because I'm never quite sure how it comes out.
It sounded great.
Mhm.
Sounded great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounded good.
Yeah, sounded good.
Thank you.
And that's actually a good segue to Alex Grassi, who has more than 12 strings on some of his instruments.
Well, yeah, actually this morning, it is early out here, and Sunday morning, I thought I'd play this little guy, which only has four strings.
Great.
So I've been really into the uke the last year. That's kind of been my, everybody during COVID kind of found something maybe something new or different to do, and for me it was playing uke. And then I got involved in playing with a couple of gals who are known here in Mendocino County in Northern California as the Real Sarahs. And they are both Sarahs, in fact, and they sing beautiful harmony together. And so I've been playing with them, and it looks like I'm going to do a recording with them that we'll have out next year. So that's been an added incentive because the uke blends really well with their voices. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. It's Sunday morning. I thought maybe a little Bach just to get warmed up here on a Sunday.
Sure.
The short version.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You reminded me of another Californian, Mike Marshall, who is a mandolinist who does some amazing things on a very small neck.
Yeah.
Including Bach.
Yeah, Mike's a brilliant mandolin player. When I first got started performing, I did a lot of opening for the Dave Grisman Quintet back in the late 70s, early 80s. And Mike was a member of that band along with Daryl Anger and Mark O'Connor was in that band. I remember Mark O'Connor showing up when he was 17 years old with a cast on, and Grissman saying, "Mike, what the hell? What's going on here? You got a cast on. You can't play. What happened?" He said, "I fell off my skateboard." And so, of course, I think that may have been his last time on a skateboard. But
wow,
what a brilliant musician he turned out to be. So
playing fiddle with a cast on would be quite something.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I could play something else real quick. I'm into the short little things here, so I'll just. Now, if I was a good singer, I could sing this too.
Holiday, holiday,
Shady
Grove,
Shady Grove, my darling. Shady Grove, my little love. I'm going back to Harlem. It's kind of rumba style. Okay, that's enough. Sunday morning.
But that reminds me of Joachim's crossover work, because there's that also derived from a British tune about not Lord Franklin. It's the
Maddie.
Horrible story. Yeah, Maddie Groves.
Maddie Groves.
Maddie Groves.
Yeah.
Holiday, and the first one of the year. Lord Donald's wife went out to church, a sermon for to hear, and when the sermon it was done, she cast her eyes about, and there she spied little Maddie Groves standing in the crowd. Yeah. Come home with me, little Maddie Groves. Come home with me tonight. Come home with me, little Maddie Groves, and sleep with me by tonight. I can't come home and sleep with you tonight. By the ringers I see you are Lord Donald's wife, etc. It doesn't end well.
I was going to say, things don't go well for little Maddie.
No, none of these end well.
No, they
always
never
tragic,
do.
and someone gets drowned, or
I think there was a moral to that song.
Yeah, it's like power.
Bad things will happen if you want to have fun.
The British Isles people are good at tragedy. Things often don't end well, and of course that got amplified with that music ending up in the Appalachian and West Virginia and places like that, where a lot of that music was actually better preserved than it was in Britain because people were so isolated there. So
that's interesting.
Well, Andy, I've got one more song for you today. It's a moral song, and it's about a dad. So I thought
go for it.
Maybe it's time to do it. It's a John Bryan song. This is one of my favorites, called Egg and Daughter Night, Lincoln, Nebraska, 1967, Crazy Bone. And when you hear the word Crazy Bone in the chorus, you can repeat it yourself at home. We can't do it online because of the lag, but anyhow. If you like your apples sweet and your streets are not concrete, you'd be in your bed by 9 every night. Take your hand-spanked, corn-fed gal and your best friend's four-eyed pal to a treat right down the street that's dynamite. Well, let your conscience be your guide. If you put your foot inside, you'll wish you left well enough alone. When you've got hell to pay, put the truth on layaway and blame it on that old crazy bone. Crazy bone, crazy bone. Where you wish you left you well enough alone. When you got hell to pay, put the truth on layaway and blame it on that old crazy bone. Don't be stuck up in Alaska when you should be in Nebraska on a Thursday when it's Egg and Daughter Night. When the farmers come to town and they spread them eggs around and they drop their daughters down at the roller rink. Well, you're probably standing there with your slick back real cream hair and your luckies and your daddy's fine-tooth comb. If they knew what you were thinking, they would run you out of Lincoln Just blame it on that old crazy bone. Crazy bone. Crazy bone. Yeah, well, you must have left your wisdom tooth at home. If they knew what you were thinking, well, they'd run you out of Lincoln. Just blame it on that old crazy bone. When the grandkids all are grown and they put you in a home, and eternity is approaching fast. Yeah, you're half out of your head, and you probably pissed the bed, and you can't see a thing to save your ass. When far across the prairie, in the local cemetery, you got your name already carved out in stone. When all them nurses say, Grandpa, why'd you walk that way? Just blame it on that old crazy bone. Well, crazy bone. Yeah, crazy bone. Yeah, and everybody in that old folks home, if they knew what you were thinking, well, they'd run you out of Lincoln. Just blame it on that old crazy bone. And everybody in that old folks home, yeah, blame it on that old crazy bone.
I like it. Miss that guy. John
Yeah.
Prine was such a, which, I mean, he could do everything and do
Well, who else would write? If they knew what you were thinking, they would run you out of Lincoln. Is there another songwriter alive ever
No.
who would have thought of that line? That's such a pure John Prine line.
Yeah.
John Prine mind, yeah, and soul and heart. What a cool guy. Rick, I know you guys are going to head to the boat soon, which I'm determined to join you on. For those who missed it, last year, a couple of times, at least 2 or 3 times, Donna Nestler streamed live from a sailboat in Mamaroneck Harbor on Long Island Sound, which was really fun to see. So, Rick, you got one more tune on it, you? Quickie?
Yeah, I was thinking as long as we're on the subject of boats. Of course, when 2 sailboats of the same type meet up underway, a race usually breaks out.
By the way, my father, we grew up sailing, and he was exactly like you just described. We were in a big, sort of a biggish, slowish sailboat, and as soon as someone was coming along, he would get competitive.
Yeah, well, my first command was the Sojourner Truth, a nice little 42-foot gaff rig sloop. It was a 1/3 size Clearwater, and she was a sister to the Woody Guthrie, which was Pete Seeger's boat for quite a while, and then Pete gave it to the Beacon Sloop Club, and she still sails today, every couple of nights a week. And this is a song that was written by a guy named William Gaggle, and it's about 2 Hudson River sloops that meet up about 150 years ago. Sloop Sally B sailing up the Tappan Zee, the quickest little sloop that you'd ever want to see. She was 90 feet tall with a boom to match. Little Sally B, she was pretty hard to catch. Now the old Ben Franklin was a fast one too. Her mainsail and her jib, they were both brand new. And Captain Mike Payne, he swore a mighty oath that he'd catch a Sally B or he'd sink them both. So the old Ben Franklin and the saucy Sally B went racing up the river through the Tappan Zee. Well, Sally B led for most of the way from the beginning to the end of Haverstraw Bay. Then they turned into the river where it wasn't very wide. They were sailing close together, they were sailing side by side, and the skippers both agreed that the race would end round the very next turn, round the very next bend. But up around the corner, looming very large, loaded down with stone, was an upstate barge. Well, the current turned her broadside, and there she lay. Couldn't sail around her, no, there wasn't any way. So the old Ben Franklin and the Saucy Sally be the quickest pair of sloops that you'd ever want to see. They hit the barge together, and they both sank pretty fast. But the old Ben Franklin hit the bottom last.
Oh, that's great.
That's a good song.
Yeah, it's great that those boats are still out there too. They both had kind of close scrapes in terms of just keeping them floating. It's wonderful.
Gone. Yep. Well, the Sojourner's gone, but the Woody and the Clearwater are still around.
Yep. And you're here singing the songs. It's great. And Donna, it's great to see you walking back and forth there on that once shattered leg and getting ready. There's a hand. I like that. So enjoy the water when you can. Joachim, I was hoping you might be able to slip in one more tune, and Claudia too, if you can, before we're done for the day.
Okay.
Sure thing. Let's see here. I'll do another Uncle Dave one. This is one that I changed a lot of the lyrics around. I was reading this book to my daughter every night, and when I started doing this song, I just started kind of telling the story of this book instead of Uncle Dave's lyrics, and she got a big kick out of that because every time I'd come back from a show, I'd say, "Yep, I did the song," and nobody knows that it's really about the little pig that leaves its farm. Only you know. Left my home a week ago, now I'm standing at your window. Something sure is smelling good, maybe you'll spare some if you could. Getting happy, don't you know now? Come on, buddy, don't you wanna go? Steam train go riding up and down Great Bear Mountain to Felton Town. Train car filling up with dreams far back as the eye can see. Getting happy, don't you know now? Come on, buddy, don't you wanna go? Build a tree house in your tree, maybe you'll wanna stay with me. Send these pictures to my friends, let them know I found you in the end. Getting happy, don't you know now? Come on, buddy, don't you wanna go? Tiny bottles, blue and green, laid out by your TV screen. I've been hearing your voice inside each one. I'm wondering what it means. Getting happy, don't you know now?
Come along, buddy, don't you wanna go now? Get happy, don't you know now? Come along, buddy, don't you wanna go now? Get happy, don't you know now? Come along, buddy, don't you wanna go now? Get happy, don't you know now? Come along, buddy, don't you wanna go now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm just so, I've literally immersed in that sound. What an amazing mix of lyrics. The lyrics are so simple, and there are these certain moments in your composition where you bring in a chord. There really is sort of a fundamental modal change, and it's just really caught me. I don't know about everybody else. Really, really cool.
I mean, his songs are so there's something about them that, as I kind of, because he was so fast and, you know, breakneck speed banjo playing all the time, and when I slowed them down and kind of put in some little reharmonizations here and there and put in 4 chords where he hadn't, it just was so, it just did something. It's a testament to his, you know, his songs. They're all so catchy and pleasing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Joaquin, I probably missed it, Joaquin, but is that some kind of a kalimba or super kalimba?
It's some kind of super kalimba.
Very cool.
I was explaining to them earlier on, but, you know, it goes down in octaves and then up in fifths.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Great sound.
Yeah.
And the maker is Wesley?
Bill Wesley, out of San Diego. I mean, he's quite, in fact, I keep looking at my screen and I'm wondering what's that thing behind me. And now I remember that's one of his stringed versions.
Wow.
That's like an early, very dusty, but it's the same thing. It goes, it's just, you know, there's that and the nails. He did the same thing with different things. The Imbira being, you know, for me, it's the most, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at his website, and he doesn't make the solid body anymore. So.
What?
No.
I'm going to have to.
He said he has a acoustic, semi-solid body, hollow body, and then he has a hollow body. But
I'm going to have to call him up.
So that one is I guess a collector's item.
Wow.
I love the sound. And plus, I was looking, he explains his whole system of how to play it.
Oh, I mean.
How long did it take you to learn that?
For me, it's, I think I play it differently than he plays it. Like, he looks at it in a certain way, and I look at it the way I look at it. And it's very,
So you just picked it up and started figuring your own thing out.
Yeah, it's kind of how I've done everything, even drums. It's sort of just, I think because I'm a percussionist, and it just was sort of, it all kind of, I just love hearing it so much that I keep playing it.
It's beautiful. It has that quality, like almost of vibes, but it's
oh
just
yeah,
a little thing.
And vibes and marimba are two instruments that I love, and I never took the time. I studied them for a little bit in music school, and I just always regret not sticking with it because that's one of my favorite sounding things.
Yeah, they're cool.
Wow.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, maybe I could get Gary Burton on here sometime.
Oh yeah,
That'd be nice.
That would be something. One of my favorite all-time albums was the Chick Corea Gary Burton Crystal Silence, and by the way, which has that same layered magic to it. Well, this has been an incredible morning. We can go a few minutes past noon. I don't want to dig into people's Father's Day time with their families and stuff, but Claudia, if you had a quick short tune coming out, that'd be great. And Alex, any final musical twinkle from you would be wonderful too. Great to have you all here, especially the newcomers, especially Joachim.
thank you so much. I had such a good time. So much fun.
It's always fun, Andrew. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
As Tom Chapin says, the door is always open. He has a song that says that.
Well, I'm glad to be the sole female today. So.
Well, Donna was kind of visible, but yeah, go for it.
The sole female performer.
Yes.
I'm going to do a not very long tune, but it's called Louisiana Sky.
Lights left behind, just me and the highway in Louisiana sky. I heard the past come a-calling like a voice from up high, saying we all once lived here under Louisiana sky. Crossed a bridge over the bayou, sugar cane grows tall and wide, plantation cabins down an old gravel road. There's ghosts in the live oaks telling tales from old souls. Blue beads in their pockets to keep off the evil eye. Couldn't lift them to freedom under Louisiana skies. On their papers, first names only: Moses, Martha, and a child. Life stories left here in cypress and stone, once flesh and blood, now dust. Clouds darkened and swirled down, lightning crackled and cried. Tears of history were streaming from Louisiana skies. Empty and dusty, voices still by the time. I said my prayer to the nameless and the Louisiana sky. Said you won't be forgotten under Louisiana skies.
Yeah.
Beautiful town. Beautiful town. And Alex, maybe a last little ditty on the least stringed instrument I've ever seen you play.
So every once in a while, I write a song, and they're usually kind of silly. But since everybody's singing songs this morning, I'll brave it. I'm not a real singer, but this is a song I wrote when my wife went off for a couple of weeks with some friends to Europe, and I was left alone. And I wrote this in my kitchen on the uke here. So this is called "Jukin' with My Uke." Woke up this morning, I was all alone, just me and the dog and my smart telephone. Went downstairs, there was a note on the refrigerator door saying my baby had left me. My baby had left me and she wasn't coming back no more. Brewed up some coffee and I fed the dog. Checked on the fire, threw on another log. Checked on my email, but there was nothing there. Walked into the pantry, you know the cupboards, they were bare. My baby's left me, she's gone away, and now I'm downstairs in the kitchen. Downstairs, juking on my uke. Downstairs in the kitchen. Downstairs, juking with my uke. Short version. Andrew, I think you're muted.
How many times a day does that happen to you, right? Thank you all for being here on Father's Day. I'm going to just close out with a, hey, and there's Donna.
Say goodbye to Lisa. Alex, I'm going to have to start practicing my uke more.
Okay.
Oh, you're pretty darn good at it. I'm going to just close out with a little Father's Day song to my grandfather, my other grandfather. I started with the one on my father's father, but this is about a car, my grandfather. And I've never done it on banjo, but I got the banjo on, so here goes. And if you could all just mute, that'd be awesome. Thank you for being here with us. Joachim Cooder, Alex de Grassi, the Nestlers, Claudia Gibson, David Ross. What a great morning. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Yeah. And here's a little song about my grandpa's Cadillac. And let's see if I can... Again, first time on banjo on this, but whatever. It pulled into the drive like a cruise ship into a dock. All curves and chrome, swear it measured 1 or 2 blocks. When it rounded a corner, looked to bend just like a snake. Drove smooth and cool like drinking a vanilla shake. It was white as a tooth, had fins to the sky. The windows were Coke bottle green. Well, my grandpa's Cadillac was one great shiny machine. When he washed it, he'd circle like a sculptor around a marble bust, searching for dings or dull spots or, God forbid, rust. When he, see, that's what you switch instruments and things get all weird. When he washed it, he'd circle like a sculptor around a marble bust, searching for ding spots or, God forbid, looking for rust. It was white as a tooth, had fins to the sky. The windows were Coke bottle green. Well, my grandpa's Cadillac was one great shiny machine. He kept it running as long as he could, but it was finally time. He traded in that 59 and bought himself a used 69. Well, gone were the curves, gone were the fins. Streamlined was out and square was in. Now a Cadillac was just another kind of car. Nothing special, not a work of art. Not like that 59 with fins to the sky and windows all Coke bottle green. Well, my grandpa's Cadillac, well, my grandpa's Cadillac, well, my grandpa's Cadillac was one great shiny machine. Good day, all.
Great on banjo.
All right.
Actually, I'll try that again sometime when we're playing with Breakneck Ridge Review later in the summer. Thanks. Have a great day, everybody. And
Thank
come
you,
back
Andrew.
anytime. Joaquin, the door is open.
All right, Andy.
We'll see you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Adios. Bye.
Bye-bye.